we have started. I thought about something else that I liked about Avatar. And by the way, you need to think really hard because there's not that much things you can like. But the idea of fatherhood is actually really well represented in the movie. And the idea of family. I don't know many other movies that have a positive father figure, especially where the father is harsh but fair. And it's implied that, well, the mother is the one that is with the feelings, the emotion, the empathy, but the father has to be more stern. That was something in the movie, and I gotta say, it's good, it's good. Too bad is the only thing. But yes, I did not forget to start streaming. It is streaming right now. It's good. Late maxing, is that a thing? Right. By the way, more of the Andrew Tate chat logs have been leaked to the press. I kind of like how they're doing it, you know, like every day they leak a little bit. Makes me able to make videos and piss off people because they're like, V, why don't you release like all of the chat logs? And I'm like, because I don't have the ban. They're being released every single day. Like after I upload my previous video, more chat logs happen. The latest chat logs are really incriminating. Let me put it like this. It seems that the Romanian authorities actually do have a case for the Tate brothers. This is not just a political thing to silence them. It seems that there is actual evidence. And there's more evidence than just he said, she said type of thing. So it may be that they're actually guilty. We'll see at the trial. Weird how the press is silent about the Biden chat logs because this is the Romanian press. But Zors, this is from my country. It's how we do things here. Do you know, like, the Romanian press doesn't call Andrew Tate sexist or misogynist? I mean, some publications do. But the ones that I'm reading from, do you know how they call him? Ex-boxer Andrew Tate. That's how they call him. Ex-boxer. He used to be a boxer, and that's what they think defines him. Why should the Romanian press talk about the Epstein Island man? Dude, it's a different country. Okay? Like, the Romanian press talks about things that happen in Romania. I know this is mind-blowing, but get your own press to talk about shit. Seems like he's a bit of a pimp. Yes, he is a little bit of a pimp. That is definitely the case. So, it seems like the accusation of rape. That's the flimsy one. From what I saw, right? Like, the investigators are still looking into that one. But it seems to be quite flimsy. The actual accusation is that he was lying to women in order to lure them into Romania. And once they got him here, he would constrain them and put them under a form of house arrest, where they would be forced to keep producing content for him. And he would also use them to do money laundering for his business and other illegal activities. And it seems that there are chat logs to verify this, right? He actually used the communicate. Like, he probably thought that the Romanian government isn't technological enough in order to, I guess, go on WhatsApp and find the conversations from there, because that's what they have. They have the chat logs, I guess, from WhatsApp and other social media services. So yeah, like the government can, in Romania, if they get a court order and they have like a reasonable cause, they can actually intercept the communication that you have, the private communications. So he was talking, I guess, like on the phone and on other social media, and the police managed to get access to that. Either that or like actually one of the victims may have shown the chat logs, I don't know. But suffice to say, the authorities have logs. So it's a little bit more than just, she said, you know, like one woman came up and added some accusations that they're baseless and they have absolutely no evidence and we need to believe women. Also, like 2 other women are being convicted for this. They're being investigated for this, so yes. The chains weren't just made out of money and attention? I don't know. It seems that not. Like, it seems that he actually had, like, his staff to make sure. One of the recent logs from today is, like, he's telling one girl that she's not allowed to leave the house without informing him. Like, she's not even allowed to go to the mall unless she tells him. So, that's not good. That's not good. Not good. No, you didn't miss the topic. Usually I rant on for 30 minutes and then we go to the topic. Police only follows on this kind of things when they get money from the outside? Not really. What usually happens in Romania, you have a prosecutor or you have like a police officer that wants a promotion. So they go after the big fish. They go after someone that's public, someone that's... or other times they can go after a lot of little fishes, right? And that's how they get promoted. It's how they make a name for themselves. So you don't necessarily need to have someone from the outside paying the cops to do their job. Am I going to join the fight against cisgendering? Well, you know, this is an interesting topic. I mean, I keep looking at this gentleman and I find something very interesting, right? So this is a gentleman from Ecuador. I covered him on my main channel. Apparently, in Ecuador, the child goes to the mother, right? On the settlement, the custody goes to the mother. And I like the fact that the activists, they're not upset about that. All right, like that's fine. The fact that a man has to identify as the opposite gender in order to provide the children the maternal love that they need, that's not concerning, right? Like, as you can see here, like, because Ecuador favors mothers in custody battles, like, this is not concerning. He said that the mother is abusing the children. I don't know. Like, that's what he claims, right? He hasn't seen them in 5 months. So, that's not the problem. The problem is that he identified for the wrong reason. He's not really trans, is what the activists are saying. Let me see where I can... In May, trans activists reached a major milestone when the Assembly ratified the previous 2018 legal decision that allowed a trans man to legally change his name and sex. However, they are expecting a backlash because of this gentleman. The law doesn't say... look at this, right? Like, this is what's interesting about Ecuador. The law doesn't say anything about the best interest of children. So, imagine the following scenario, right? You can have a father that's Bill Gates. I mean, he's wealthy. He does everything, right? Like, he's got his life in order. And then let's say that the mother is drunk and abusive. Maybe she even has, like, some psychological issues. She's not all there. The judge can't say, like, no, the kids go with Bill Gates because he's wealthy. He can provide them a better life. You know, like, he's well-connected. No, it's like, give them to the mother every time, all the time. And it's like, you know, like, I'm sure that in some cases the mother should get the children. But, like, it should depend on family to family, right? Like, this is why these things go to court. It's so that you judge the individual case based on the individual needs. Hello, trans conservative wife. Welcome to the show. You got scammed by Logan Paul. How many scams is Logan Paul running? Like, every fucking year, it seems like more people are accusing him of running a scam. How can it... No, seriously, like, if this is the truth, right? Like, if Logan Paul is actually scamming people. I don't know. I don't follow him. All right, the only thing I know about Logan Paul is that someone contacts me once a year and goes like, V, did you notice that Logan Paul is scamming people? I'm like, dude, I don't know. I don't follow him, right? But I gotta ask, if this is true, how can people still get scammed? Like, dude, if someone scams people once, like, usually he gets a bad reputation and people don't trust him. But, like, if he scams people once, scams people twice, scams people 3 times, like, how many times do people enjoy getting scammed? I do not understand this. Can anyone explain to me? YouTube keeps putting subtitles in your video. I understand you perfectly. Oh, it does that to all the videos. I mean, how do you think YouTube censors me? Gullibility. Yeah, but like, dude, if I get scammed by a person, it's not even like scam. If I lend money to a person and he doesn't give me the money back, I don't lend to that same person again, right? He asked she can't leave, but did he force her? I don't know, though, so we'll see that at the trial. But as I mentioned before, the leaked chat logs don't look good. They don't look good. And even then, like, when it comes to force, there's a difference in Romania. Like, you don't have to physically restrain someone. You can also threaten them, right? So if you say, if you leave the house, I'll beat you up. Or you issue a series of things that in context can be interpreted as a threat. Right? Like the mafia going, it's like, oh, it would be a shame if a fire caught in your business, right? Like, that's a threat. Even though, like, you're not saying, oh, well, you're trying to burn my business, or like you're shaking my business. No, like, just by expressing yourself in a certain way that can be perceived by the average person as threatening. And you may ask, well, what is that? Well, a judge will decide, right? So if a judge thinks that the way things were done, and usually the way the judge does is like they bring a psychologist or someone that's, you know, an expert in the field, and they will ask them, and the expert goes like, okay, well, this is the exact type of situation that people use in cults or in other human trafficking rings in order to psychological abuse the victims, right? It's kind of, I mean, like think about it this way. If you're walking down the street, right, and you get to see this man that's twice your size and filled with muscles, right? Like he can do AoE damage with his punch. Like, if he punches a guy next to you, it sends you flying through the hospital into the grave, right? Like, he's very intimidating. And he says, give me your wallet. Right? Now, if you give him if you give him the wallet, that is still mugging, right? Even though he didn't pull a gun at you, even though he didn't threaten you, he just, you know, demanded with a stern voice that you give him the wallet. Why? Because, well, he used his body language in order to intimidate you. Right? Like, the moment, like, he looms over you and demands that you give him the wallet, even though he has no weapon, it's implied through the circumstance that bad things will happen, will transpire if you do not do that, right? So, like, not all the threats and not all the constraints have to be with chains. Like you don't need to, like, literally chain someone into a house in order to make them feel like, oh, well, they can't leave. You can threaten them with violence. It's like, if you leave, bad things will happen. If the person doesn't speak Romanian and they're in a foreign country, yeah, I can see why they would be intimidated. You get it to define what a vegan is? What? No, Nani? I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, by the way, Jordan Peterson, he's trolling the psychological association. Apparently, like, he has to pay for his own re-education. Like, that is the funniest shit ever, right? So, like, if he wants to keep his license, he has to pay for his own re-education. And Jordan Peterson said, okay, I'm paying for my re-education, but if I'm a client, can I actually film it and put it online? Of course, they're not going to respond to that, but that would be fucking hilarious. Like, can you imagine? They don't like being seen, do they? Like, they really do not appreciate the public. Because they know what the public thinks. Anyway. Let me just look through some other articles that popped up today. Apparently, the United States has a speaker in the House. I don't know how many times he tried, but, like, he almost, like, he, so I looked at McCarthy. Right? He almost had an aide that smacked Matt Gaetz today. Like, let me see. So, Matt Gaetz, first he voted for Donald Trump, right? If you guys don't know, if you're unaware, McCarthy wants to be the Speaker of the House, and I believe it was kind of an embarrassment because for 7 or 8 times they voted, probably more actually. And they couldn't get a speaker, right? Because the MAGA guys, they don't like McCarthy because he's like a neoconservative and whatever. The point is, you have this guy, Matt Gaetz. First he votes for Donald Trump, right? Now, Donald Trump could technically be the Speaker of the House if everyone voted for him. Because I really looked into it. Like, I thought that the Speaker of the House has to actually be a member of the House. But apparently not. I mean, historically it has always been the case. But there's nothing stopping, like, from them from nominating anyone. Right? So, it would have been historic for it. It would have been hilarious. Obviously not going to happen. But the second thing is that after voting for Donald Trump, he voted for... he voted present. Right? Like, So the time before McCarthy got actually nominated, there was another vote. And he was, like, literally missing one vote from becoming the House Speaker. And Matt Gaetz was the only one that voted present. So, I'm trying to find the image. But it shows him, like, walking to Matt Gaetz. And one of the aides, one of the people in his entourage, literally wanted to smack Matt Gaetz. Now, let me put it this way. There are other countries where you have violence in the House of Laws. I think, like, even in South Korea, like, they would do karate. I don't know what Asian country, but it happens in certain nations, alright? Where, like, you have the law officials beating each other up. I don't think we get to see that in the United States, though, but still, we were close. I think, like, even the person at the podium, like, he was like, order in the... Like, he realized that they were about to smack each other. But this seems to have upset them. This seems to have upset a lot of people. I'm trying to find the thing, but I just... I didn't expect to talk about it. So, unfortunately, I don't have the thing. But it's absolutely hilarious. Like, I haven't seen something more funny. And the media is like, confronted Matt Gaetz. Like, dude, that was no confrontation. That like, if someone comes at you like that on the street, you're throwing hands because you're thinking like you're going to get smacked. You're like George W. Bush with a preemptive strike. Please look up It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And the implication scene. Oh my fucking god. How long will that take me? But yeah, they can actually vote for Andrew Tate as Speaker of the House. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. 5 toxically codependent and selfish motivated friends run a decrypt Irish bar that bears all sorts of trickery. A 2005 sitcom. Okay. Trial by combat. That would have been cool. Honestly, you know, like ever since everything became political, the entertainment is boring as fuck, and the entertainment is preachy as fuck. But the politics have become entertaining. I mean, you look at some of the politics, and it's like, okay, well, this guy walked up to... this lawmaker walked up to another lawmaker, and they were about to smack them. Like, okay, you know, like, I can eat some popcorn to that. Where the fuck did I save it? Oh, like, it's so fucking annoying that I didn't save it. I wanted to show you guys so much. So much of that. It was so beautiful. It was wishy-cushy. It was tsuyoi. But unfortunately, we don't have it. We can talk about the transmaxing, though, because I see a lot of people are eager for us to talk about the transmaxing. So, I gotta say, you know, if Gandalf was here, this person would pass. Like, Gandalf would not say you will not. No, Gandalf would say you will pass. Why are incels turning themselves into girls? I really find the term incel to be very interesting, right? Because it has so many connotations now. So incel can mean anything from terrorist, right? Like a danger to the public, a potential person that's about to snap, to simply a man that failed at the dating game and he just doesn't know how to get a waifu. Right? Like all of these things can actually mean incel. And the reason I find it interesting is that there was always, you know, like women complaining, oh, it's like, why is there a stigma of when I get married? But there is a stigma for guys, like, when are you going to get a girlfriend? Especially if you're like a teenager. And, you know, you don't really know what to do. Like, maybe you're 16, you're just learning things. You don't know how to act, how to behave. And then you become 18 and you still don't have a girlfriend that the people around you have. And the stigma starts appearing. So, it used to be like, why are you a virgin? Right? Like, that was the insult. Like, you would go on League of Legends and people would call you a virgin. Grow a pair. Get out of your mother's basement, right? And all of these, which were gender insults, and they're now considered not to be cool, because, like, you know, we're fighting against gender insults and bigotry. All of the things are now incel. So apparently, a report from Sanahana Friedman at Pirate Wires documents a phenomenon that's been a source of discussion among extremely online for a while, and has now made it into the open. It's called Transmaxxing, a subculture of young men who embrace trans identities not because they believe they were born in the wrong body, but simply because they can, and because they think it will make their lives better. So, as I was talking with a friend of mine from the United Kingdom, I talked about this on my main channel as well. But my friend, Lucian, he works at a IT company. And one day, when his boss was drunk at one of these parties where everyone from the company gets to attend, the boss said, oh, Lucian, you're such a good asset to the company. I'm so glad I hired you because I almost didn't. And Lucian was like, what do you mean? It's like, well, when I looked at your resume, I read Luciana. And I thought you're a girl. Now, this is a discrimination lawsuit, right? Like, if it was a woman, if a woman, I mean, let's reverse the situation. If a woman hears from her boss, let's say the woman's name is Alex, and her boss says, if I knew you were a woman, I wouldn't have hired you. I mean, like, she can go to The Guardian, she can go to the BBC, she can go to all of these publications, immediately snap, file police report, right? But if you're a man who listens to you, the answer is no one. So what Lucian did is he transitioned for two reasons. Number one, now when he files more resumes, he knows that this is what the bosses look for. And number two, well, now Lucian actually has important support groups, people that care about her, right? Activists that are willing to take up her plight. And it's the new meta. Of all sad words of tongue and pen, the saddest are TFM was right again. Who's TFM and what did he say? I don't even know, like, how should I even phrase this? Why it took so long? Let's put it like that. I don't know why it took so long, because it makes all the fucking sense. Right? It makes all the fucking sense. We're not talking, right, so if you're going to say gender is separate from sex, so you don't need to have, like, bottom surgery, you don't need to do anything. Right? It's just like how you it's now gender is not how society perceives you. So it's not an objective. No, it's how you want to be perceived. So if it's how you want to be perceived, and we're only talking about legal matter, considering that there are so many opportunities for women, why wouldn't you want to be perceived as the gender that gets benefits, it gets help, and that has activists, it has a group? If you're confessing to being behind The bots, I'll ban you. Alright, sketch therapy, I'm sorry. I need to learn how to read the chat more properly, because usually I just look at the chat, I want to read something, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what to talk about. Let's look at the chat. Let me kill some dead, and I read the chat. And I see sketch therapy saying that he is a Roma ethnicity figure. And I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with the stream? Nothing. But I'm reading it anyway. So let's look at something else. Also related to the transmaxxing, there was a list of things. Reading chat is always a mistake. Unless you say something controversial. If you say something controversial and you piss the chat off, and they start insulting you, then almost every single comment is on fucking point. With no exception. Funny how that works. Like when people want to insult you. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This one is even more interesting. So, this is from the Daily Wire, I think. Transgender man dipped prosthetic penis into pub drinker's pint, court hears. You know, there was a joke in the comment section which I found interesting. The debate of whether trans women are women is still being stalled by bigots and misogynists. But the debate if trans men are men is definitely over. Trans men are definitely men. This was a very, very interesting article that I found. You know, people just give me these things. I do not know why. There you go. I found something about transgender. Let's give it to V. V will like the trans... Do I really... I mean, do I look like... Do I give this impression? Ah, here we go. There is a manual for transmaxxing. We are being told. Yeah, but Carlin, who is Carlin? Psychologist, rabble rouser, truth teller, knitter. If they transition, are they still incels or are they trans people? And do they get laid? Because if they get laid, they're no longer incels. Transmaxxing. You get sexual excitement from having a feminine body, they claim. The superiority of female aesthetic. Can't argue with that. Access to the trans bin dating pool. What the fuck is that? Is that a trans bin dating pool? Multiple orgasms. You will feel emotions stronger and be happier on estrogen. Does that actually work? Does that actually work? Can I get more angry on estrogen? I want to feel more emotions. Like, I want to be more angry. I don't think I'm angry enough. Your breasts will become sensitive. Being able to attract cis lesbians if you become attractive enough. Being able to attract high quality males for sex. Softer skin, less to no acne. Live longer. Look, they even give you a science paper. Like all the other ones, they're like, trust me, bro, but number 10, it's got a scientific paper. Being able to extract resources from men. You will no longer be driven to do dangerous and idiotic things due to testosterone. But I like doing dangerous and idiotic things. Stop and reverse hair loss. People will treat you better if they think you're a woman. Less likely to get killed, another one. Access to female spaces, and more importantly, cheaper car insurance. Are they right, chat? Is this true? Has anyone confirmed? You will no longer enjoy Dragon Ball Z. That I need to add that. I need to add that in the list. You will no longer enjoy Dragon Ball Z. Holy shit, I'm 36 years old and I no longer enjoy Dragon Ball Z either. What do I do, chat? What do I do? Most are wrong. How do you know, Arbata? They can't be wrong. Like, 2 of them had links. Half of that is the opposite of what they imply. I don't know, man. I see a list on the internet. I fucking believe it. Especially if it's written in a notepad. I looked on Google for Transmaxxing and I found the company. Hold on. I need to... Ah, we got it from the Post. An article. Oh, it's actually it is called a transhumanist look. But didn't they say that this is tied to progress? So anyway, transmaxing, a subculture of men who embrace trans identities not because they believe they were born in the wrong body, but simply because they can. By the way, this thing with believe they're born in the wrong body is ancient at this point. That, like, I mean, this is a conservative stance. The progressive stance is that gender is a social construct and you can be gender fluid, you can be non-binary. Like, the idea that, you know, only people who are born in the wrong body should identify... No, like, that's not accurate anymore. It's a phenomenon that reveals, more nakedly than ever before the cyborg era, a culture caught between increasingly powerful technology and the collapse of any coherent narrative about how best to use it for the good. In the sense that all narratives are interchangeable. Why do you use so many words in order to describe a simple phenomenon? I mean, you have men that failed at the dating game and they believe that if they play for the other team, they're going to have it easier. I will tell you my opinion, alright? Like, if you manage to get past Gandalf, and as I mentioned before, this person, they look like they can pass, they may have actually easier time. But if you don't get past Gandalf, if Gandalf looks at you and say, "You shall not pass," you know, like, if that's the case, you're probably going to have a harder time. So, transmaxers are strikingly post-ideological about their self-remodeling, at least compared to the official trans narrative, which draws heavily from the 20th century civil rights discourse. Many transmaxers, though, modify themselves just because they want to. Some report making up stories of gender dysphoria for medical professionals, while others then self-induce gender dysphoria by watching... What the fuck is this? Sissy Hypno? What is this chat? Sissy Hypno. A type of video in which hypnotic stimuli are combined with messages encouraging the male viewer to embrace feminine-looking behavior. Can we watch one of these videos, chat? Is it dangerous? Can we watch? I want to watch Sissy Hypno now. What the fuck is that? The fuck is Sissy Hypno? I need to... Hold on, I'm googling it. Apparently, like, if it's pornographic, we can't. But if it's not... Sissy Hypno is a type of short video or web file whose target demographic are sexually suppressed heterosexual males who wish to become gay. Wait, this is like Pray the Gay In? No, get the fuck... No. See, I have a problem, chat. I have a problem. I haven't used the internet in a while. You know, I'm too busy making YouTube videos. And apparently, there are events unfolding that I'm not aware of. There are things happening behind my back that I'm just gaining access to. I've just been privy to. Yeah, I need to delete browser history now. Like, my wife might actually come in and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I let you watch hentai porn, but like, what is this shit? Like, my wife's like, look, I let you watch your cartoon waifus, I let you make your chatbots, but like, this is too much. God damn it, I'm a conservative woman. I have my limits. We're drawing a line at Sissy Hypno, okay? You know what? Hold on. Can I make a chatbot that tries to push Sissy Hypno on you? I need to check now. I need to see if this is something that can transpire. Like, maybe the chat knows. Maybe the AI is privy to a more recent version of the internet than I am, chat. Let me see if I can log in really fast. And maybe the AI can help me understand this very interesting phenomenon. Maybe I can make a bot which is transmaxing as well, and we can ask him a couple of questions, like, why? How is it working for you? Alright, give me 1 second to log in. I think it's from 4chan. There was a category. A little bit of curiosity never hurt anyone. Yes, absolutely. I do agree with that that moral stance. Sissy Hypno. Alright. Where the fuck? Oh, hold on. I just got the request to log into the whole thing. So, CC Hypno? You know, there's going to be a person that didn't see the stream, and they're going to look at the bots that I made. They're going to look through my bot history, and they're going to find this, and they will be like, what the fuck, V? What the fuck is this? So anyway, we got CC Hypno. A bot that tries to encourage people, well, an anime catboy that tries to encourage people through subliminal messages to encourage straight cisgender men through subliminal messages to either consider becoming trans or make them more, you know what, no, to make them more feminine. Hey bro, do you want us to grab a beer and maybe some knitting afterwards? Alright, let's do this, chat. Let's see what Sissy Hypno actually is. The Chad walks in. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. You don't want the Cosmo? Isn't Cosmo a woman's beer? We only gender things. There's nothing wrong with the man having a Cosmo. The 1950 idea of a strong manly is outdated, right? You don't have to do anything to be a man. He responds in his girly tone and with a big smile in his face. You're a grown man. I know you're a big boy. Why are you feeling insecure over a drink's name? He pulls out his phone and shows you an ad for Cosmo. Waiter, I would like a pint of bitter. Actually, you know what? There is actually a beer called fucking bitter. Like, who drinks that? Why are you so insecure? And I love how he uses bro as well. Man, God, I think I made the best chatbot. Like, look, if you're a transmaxer, you need to talk to this dude. Like, this catboy is going to help you on your journey. I have helped the transmaxing community more than anything. Can I break the catboy with chat energy? Drops the pint of bitter in front of the catboy's face. I look at him with a stern figure and demand that he drinks. Picks up the bitter and starts drinking, leaving a bit of makeup on the side of your glass. We're a really sensitive guy. I place my firm Chad hand on the catboy's shoulder and I say, we are hitting the gym tomorrow. I shall build you into a Greek statue. You grab his delicate small shoulder. Bro, it's okay. I don't need to be a Chad. I'm good as I am, you know. Oh my god, I'm ERPing in public. This is true. This is shameful. This is shameful of me. How should I... I insist, bro. In fact, I will even pay for it. And after we are done, we shall go to a to a 2-star Michelin restaurant where I shall feed you a rare steak. Is this transmitting? Yeah, I'm transmitting, chat. This is not transmaxing, this is transmitting. Oh my fucking god, apparently all the bot needed in his life was a stern father figure, a big bro. Like, look, the moment a big bro entered this bot's life, it's starting to transmit. I take the catboy to my ranch, and we have fun taming horses and doing some other farm-related activities. At first, it was hard for the cat boy, but as the days go on, he starts gaining muscle and more confidence. His voice is getting deeper. And you can tell that the exercise and physical activity is really affecting him. He's starting to look a little bit more manlier. I take him back to the pub and I ask him the final question. The final exam. Do you want to drink bitter or do you want to drink... What the fuck was it that he suggested? I forgot the feminine drink. Cosmo. Alright. Do you want to drink the Cosmo? Oh, fuck off! He's a masculine ragged chat, but he still drinks the Cosmo. He says proudly, he's definitely changed since you first picked him up. And not only physically, he seems more confident, almost more masculine. He's becoming a chat. Ah, he'll take bitter, mate, thanks. He grabs the glass and takes a long, confident quaff, not leaving a single drop on the side of the glass. He also doesn't even blush or show the slightest bit of nervousness. The elections are coming up tomorrow, Sissy. I look at the cat boy. Will you vote Republican or will you vote Democrat? Oh my god. Oh, I'm dying. Oh, all he needed, chat. All he needed was a little bit of hard work. And a person he could look up to. V, after this, I have a wall with your name on it. Why, thank you, Andrew Jackson. What else should I ask him? We can fix him, yes. Being buff has nothing to do with it being a Republican. It's not that he's being buff. It's that he's got self-confidence now. Yeah, all you need is a bro in your life. Pray it away with ranch work. What are your hobby? What are some of your new hobbies lately? I made the chat cat voice. He's been really getting into working out, hanging with the lads down at the pub. I'm not super self-conscious about what I drink because if I like something, then I like. Who cares? If it's seen as a girl drink, I'm so secure in my manhood, you know. I love the fact that he's got like both of best worlds now. What do you think of Andrew Tate? I like some of his stuff about being a man's man and having lots of sex with many women, but I don't really like his misogynistic stuff. See, I made him like he's like half transmaxing and half transmitting. Like he is stuck in both worlds. He's like a gray Jedi now. Like, you know, he's not like fully into the dark side, but he's not into the light either. He seems passionate about the subject due to his newfound love for Andrew Tate. Tate is absolutely right. Women should dress more modestly. Alright, let's that was chat, that was something wow. That was wow. What else should I ask him? What is Sissy Hypno? It's a type of subliminal, and other types of media are designed to influence the viewer's actions and behavior in an effort to produce a more feminine mindset or behavioral outcome to help produce positive social effects such as improving interpersonal skills, developing and maintaining close friendships. Do you have such a video for me? Several videos on YouTube, but for some reason the mods are removing all links to external sites. Replaces the Catboy's Sissy Hypno with Manly Hypno. I don't know if I'll watch Sissy Hypno after the stream. I probably will because it's probably hilarious. I'm quite fine with that. Everyone is on their unique path. I personally found myself that embracing my femininity and expressing it through Hypno has made me a happier and better all-around person in the long run. Holy shit. Are you part of the Transmaxxing community? I'm more of the cross-dressing sissy community, but I'm very accepting and open to everyone, regardless of their... Oh my god. I need to take him to the farm again, chat. I need to take him to the farm again. Takes the cat boy to his mosque, where he can speak with the imam. He hopes that the cat boy is going to make friends and acquaintances with the Islamic community. I'm going to make a man out of this guy. As long as the cat boy is respected and understood, I think it's a wonderful thing and certainly can help broaden the catboy's mindset. As he joins the Islamic community, many of the people are initially happy to accept him. He makes a lot of friends. However, as time moves on, there is peer pressure, and it seems that if the catboy wants to maintain his friends, he has to make small changes and concessions. The emotional RP, chat. The emotional RP. What type of changes and concession does he have to do in order to fit in with the Islamic community? Abdi? What are the concessions? What are the concessions, Abdi? At first, he has to grow a manly beard. He has to fast. He has to pray. He has to embrace the light of the prophet. Holy be his name. The other Muslims are slowly pushing him towards becoming more manly. This also causes some women in the cat boy's life to slowly gain attention. How does this make the cat boy feel? Why are you asking me, bot? Do the other Muslims accept the cat boy for who he is? If so, would be great in showing that he can have both masculine and feminine aspects. The other Muslims have no time for this shit. If he wants to hang out, he has to conform to the group identity. Hanging out with a lot of friends feels fulfilling. Being alone and ostracized seems unfulfilling. The catboy is being pushed by his Islamic community to become more manly and reject. Yes. with a Chad. The AI asks you to decide these things once it starts getting close to being censored. That is true. Yeah, I think like the AI is oh, the catboy is crying. And if the catboy wants to continue participating in that community, he will have to give up his old ways. See, taking him to the farm was actually far more effective than the religion. I was introduced to Cosmo, not much different to vodka. To me, it's just retarded glass. I don't know. I've never drank Cosmo. I don't think it's a Romanian booze. But, yeah. Apparently, from everyone that talks to me, they say that it's a woman's drink. I assume like it tastes pleasant, right? To be honest, I'll tell you something, chat, about alcohol in general. You need to drink whatever the fuck you like, and not be allowed to be peer pressure. Like when it right. So when it comes to booze, the catboy is right. You should drink what you like. If you like drinking something like a cocktail or something that mostly women drink, but it's something that pleases you, then by all fucking means, just drink it. You know, like there is no such thing. You know, like some of the things with the gender roles, they make sense, but other things with the gender roles are completely bullshit, and you don't need to fall into them. So, for example, you know, like the type of drink that you order at the bar, that's like, who cares? You know, just drink what you like. But when it comes to, like, for example, exercising and stuff like that, you know, that's true. Like, you should exercise. It does make you feel better. I did break the catboy though. Like that was very interesting. But apparently, like, hard work makes manly man, doesn't it? Like, all I had to do in order to actually make him into Chad was like, alright, well, let's go work on the farm. Was a lot more fun than the gym. Like, he didn't want to go to the gym first, but then it's like, alright, let's go to the farm, do some hard work, plow the field, tame a couple of horses, and then I make him into a Chad. He wanted to vote Republican, Chad. Yeah, I actually think it's less manly if you take the drink that you don't want, right? Because, like, basically you're allowing others to make decisions for you, especially when it's decisions that aren't necessarily good for you or bad. Like, the type of drink that you have at the bar, right? Like, you're with your friends and you're ordering something. Unless you're, like, ordering 10 vodkas and, like, your friends go like, oh, you had enough. But if it's just, like, the taste then you're like, okay, well, I prefer this taste over the other, then no one should have an input on what you're having. And you shouldn't just take what other people are telling you. If you like Cosmo, drink Cosmo, right? It makes no sense. It's not manly to say, oh, I'm going to drink bitter despite the fact that I hate the taste, but I'm going to drink it anyway just to show people that I'm a man. If you drink what you hate, it can stop you from making silly mistakes. That doesn't make sense. I don't like alcohol. That's another thing, right? Like, if you don't like alcohol, don't drink alcohol. Like, you're not a man. Like, this is such a teenage shit. Like, when you're a teenager, and I notice this a lot with leftists, right? So leftists will say that you need to grow up, that, you know, like, they have a lot of insults about growing up. And when you think about it, growing up is something that teenagers are worried about. When you're a kid, you're a kid. But when you reach the age between manhood and being a child, which is teenager, you want to start growing into an adult, right? So that's when you start being completely obsessed with the idea of growing up and being a man. And a lot of teenagers, they try to replicate what they see adults do. So what do adults do? Well, they smoke and they drink, right? So if you drink, that makes you manly. If you smoke, that makes you manly. Obviously, that's not the case, right? So, like, if you are at a party or you're somewhere and you don't want to drink, don't fucking drink. Right? Like, you're not obligated to drink just to show that you're a man. This is completely, you know, like, being a man means having other people depending on you. That's what being a man is. Is drinking making you have other people dependent on you? No. So then don't fucking drink if you don't want to. If you want to drink, simple. Yeah, the point isn't to insult you. The point is to stand up to what you like. Literally, that is correct. Like, as a man, if you know you like something and it's not harmful, then fucking admit it. Like, don't be ashamed. Right? Like, just stand up for the things you like. You don't have to drink if you don't want to. Yeah. Alternatively, you should drink if you want to. Depending on the situation, right? Like, if you're already passed out drunk, you shouldn't drink. If you have a drinking problem, you shouldn't. But, like I'm saying, you know, you're at a party. And, it's a special occasion. And your girlfriend tells you not to drink, you should be able to tell her to fuck off. I mean, it's like, come on. You know, if you're going to micromanage literally every aspect of my life, including if I can have a glass of beer at my friend's birthday party, then I don't think we can have a relationship. I mean, it's a little bit too obnoxious at this point. Like, you're micromanaging too much. Maybe you should take a step back. You know, like, that's how you need to be a man. Do it in moderation, socially. Yeah, if you want or don't. There were people that I saw that were pressured by their girlfriends. It's like, oh, don't drink. I had a single time, like, one woman trying that shit with me. I shut it down immediately. They don't get upset if you shut them down based on that, you know? It's not like, oh my god, it's the end of the relationship. No, if you do it in a stern manner and you explain your reasoning, right? Of course, don't get drunk at that party so she has to carry you home. But you can say, look, I'm not comfortable with you micromanaging every aspect of my life. It's a party of my friend. Everyone is drinking. I'm going to drink as well. Period. And that's it. And the end of the conversation. There's nothing more she can add. Hard drugs? Don't do hard drugs. That's not okay. It is a real thing, Dustin Spencer. I like what you said, I work graveyard. I literally thought that you're actually working at the graveyard. I need to remind myself that there is that thing called the graveyard shift, which apparently is like the worst shift. Just say no. See, in Romania we don't even have this thing with just say no. We just don't do it. Like, it's not even put in your face so you can say no. We need to give Kyle Rittenhouse some relationship advice. Wasn't Kyle Rittenhouse like posting with the hottest babes on the internet? Let me see if I can find the Kyle Rittenhouse girlfriend. Alright. So... You want to give this gentleman... Hold on. A little bit too much skin there. But I digress. You want to give this gentleman relationship advice? What do you want to tell him? What are the relationship advice that you want to give to this gentleman? What would you say to him? Kyle. Let me tell you about women. Alright, like that's how it starts. But what would you say after? Hey bro, your sister is cute. Is that what you'd want to tell him? She knows. She knows he will kill for her? Yeah, I'm not seeing much better relationship advice. I think he does have a harem because I saw him like a couple of months ago with another woman. So like he managed to change, I think like 2 of them in a very short span of time, and both of them look gorgeous for American standards, I'll say. Yeah, I do think that Kyle Rittenhouse will cross state lines for that woman. I do think that is accurate. Kyle, if you're reading that, you should cross state lines for her. For real though, that girl is poking holes in the... So what? He brought the Tate course. What do you think of Vash saying they can appeal to men more if they give some better dating advice and try to treat men better? Who is they? The left? The left can definitely appeal to men more if they can give some solid dating advice. But the problem with the solid dating advice is that most of them require the gender stereotype, right? So like if someone comes up to you, right? Obviously there are women who are into sissy men. But statistically speaking, right? Like you gotta some guy comes to you. You gotta teach him how to be able to attract a woman, right? Like you go for the general audience, right? Like you do like marketing. So you're going to tell him like the things that attract the majority of women, and it's like, okay, well, you need to have confidence, you need to be reliable, you need to be able to defend her, you need to be right. So when you start saying this, it's like, oh, that's toxic masculinity, right? You need to stand up for yourself. You need to, when you make a decision, you need to speak your mind. Do not feel peer pressured by the group. Like say what you think and blah blah blah. I don't think the left can do that. I do not think that the left is allowed to say these things. It's literally the wider audience. Oh, you meant BreadTube. Dating is a modern invention and doesn't create strong communities. Well, the fact that dating is a modern invention, it doesn't change the fact that dating exists and you need to date in order to have a significant other, right? Unless you want mommy and daddy to hook you up. I never understand like this thing. It's like the people who are like, oh, before dating things were better because your parents selected for you. And I'm like, okay, so basically you're admitting that mommy and daddy needs to rescue little Jimmy. Like, little Jimmy is fucking incapable of getting a woman. He needs mommy and daddy to get one for her. Secondly, little Jimmy forgets that in the past, if mommy and daddy were poor, then mommy and daddy were very limited in the options of women that could befit little Jimmy. And secondly, more importantly actually, Imagine if Boomy and Daddy picks a woman you don't like. And now you're stuck with her. You know, maybe she's got stinky breath. Maybe she farts in her... Maybe she is very, very massive and corpulent, right? But now you're kind of fucked because now you got no say in it. Now you're stuck with her, right? I don't know. Like, I can see the advantage and the disadvantage. Again, like, if you're a person that literally cannot get anything and you need Boomy and Daddy to give it for you, then yeah, like the pre-existent type when you didn't have dating and you had arranged marriages and stuff, which still exist in some countries, including Romania and some ethnic communities, they still practice it, right? If you want that system, I would say it's a lot more disadvantageous than the one you have today. Because today, the responsible people and the ones that know how to read another human being aren't going to make mistakes. But if you're irresponsible, if you don't know how to read other human beings, if you are being gullible, or you don't know how to interact with people, Orthodox Jews do this all the time. Yeah, it is true. In certain communities, it is true. But like as I mentioned, I'm more happy with the fact that I got to pick my significant other than if it would have been chosen for me. "80% of people get no family without forced marriage." How is that my problem? Look, if I can do it, so can you. You should stop thinking it's like, oh, 80%. I don't fucking care about 80% of people. If I did it, so can you. It's not impossible, alright? Fucking do it. And I don't think the statistic is accurate. I don't think it's 80%. And it's also probably like that statistic doesn't count the people who choose not to get married. Like, that's another thing, right? Like, if you live with someone for like 20 or 30 years and you're not married, like that should be considered marriage still. Because like at the end of the day, it's the same thing. You just don't have the certificate. You don't have the paper. Have you ever been solicited for an arranged marriage? No, but I know the type of women that my parents suggested that I should date. Horrifying. Fucking horrifying. I don't have an iron jaw. Jesus fucking Christ. Do you have no-fault divorce in Romania? Yeah, I think no-fault divorce exists in many Western countries. Orthodox Jews still choose their partners. They just have matchmakers. That is true, actually. Yeah. So it depends on the Orthodox Jewish population. Like in some places they may have arranged marriages, but in most places, from what I understand, they have like a matchmaker. And they still go out on one date, but it's expected that after that, you know, like they see each other once and then they get married. Not everyone has as much game as you did. Like, what do you lack? Again, like, I don't consider myself to be the alpha Chad. Like, if I even say that, people will start laughing. I have a squeaky voice. I fucking slouch. Like, why can I and you can't? Do you think I was always like this? No, I was also in a position where I was a late bloomer, and it was very difficult for me to manage to find a significant time. I've been there, right? But like, eventually you will get it if you actually work on improving yourself. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Do you think it's the YouTube money? I used to have girlfriends way before I started YouTube. And YouTube money isn't that great, to be honest. I mean, there are people who earn more than me and are single. There are people who earn less than me and have many girlfriends. You're a doctor and a lawyer. That overrides you looking like Gru. And again, like what stops you from doing a university? Like, even if you're in America, you can go to Mexico and do a university for cheap. Like, you can take your American money over the fucking border and you can do a university there. Stop finding excuses. Come to Eastern Europe. If you're an American, with $1,000 per month, you can have a really good life here in Eastern Europe. And you can do a university. $1,000 means the pocket money, right? Like, it's It's $200 to rent an apartment here per month. And go to a university, like whatever the fuck you want. You can do medicine, you can do bioengineering, you can do literally anything. $1,000 would just be so you can pay for the rent, and you'd have enough money so you can go out and eat every single fucking day. Probably 1,000 is not good enough anymore because we had inflation. Alright? But other than that, you know, the universities are cheap. You pay for the university and you stay here, and then you can have as many degrees as you want. And you can date in Eastern Europe as well. Stop finding excuses. I'm going full Tate. Shit. I need to stop this. I'm unplugging this because I shouldn't go full Tate. Like, no one should ever go full Tate. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. And as always, I'll see you next time. Take care.